And let me go ahead and jump into this presentation because I really want to talk about what's happening here on the ground. Thumbs up if you can see this really happy looking guy here who's about to make a bunch of people wealthy on property. Yep, good. You can see that. Joel, can you see that? Stephen as well. Nicolaj, nice to see you. And here's today's headline: global uncertainty or Dubai opportunity? That's the question you got to ask yourself, because with every great crisis comes an opportunity, or as they say in politics, never let a good crisis go to waste, right? And so I want to talk about what Gulf tensions really mean for the luxury property market. I've been on the phone with brokers all over the city today asking what's actually trading, and I've got some information for you that's going to probably shock and surprise you. Boom. This is an article that just came out that said, will Gulf tensions dent Dubai's luxury property market? And the experts weigh in. All right. This is hot off the presses in the last 24 hours. And what are they saying? Well, you can read it right here. They are saying exactly this. There are concerns that the latest crisis might have put a dent in the perception of the real estate market in Dubai. Experts, however, this is only the experts, discredit the entire narrative, saying the structural appeal remains intact. Why? HNIs. Does anybody know what that means? HNIs, raise your hand. High net worth individuals may pause, reassess, and renegotiate, but they rarely exit on emotion alone. And that's what this is right now, emotions. Even if you're not in Dubai, you're probably feeling the emotions. I know I got my mom calling me up, right? But I told her everything's great. Capital at that level, this is talking about high net worth, quote, tracks governance strength, policy stability, tax efficiency, and long-term control. None of that has changed. In fact, I think the United Arab Emirates have just displayed an extreme long-term control because they've invested $4 to $8 billion over the past 5 years into this protection shield that has basically kept everybody safe here. It's amazing. It doesn't exist in any other country, including the United States, because they can't cover that region, but they have it here. And so this article does not believe it will have a long-term effect on what's going on. And I happen to agree as well. Folks, here's some tweets that came out. Pavel Durov, who created a messaging app called Telegram, who's probably a Deca billionaire, he said something. He said, unfortunately, I had to leave Dubai for Europe a week ago. So I'm not only missing the free fireworks from Iran, but I'm also exposing myself to greater risk. He's in Paris, France, and he believes he's at greater risk right now than being in Dubai. He says, given Europe's crime rates, Dubai is statistically safer, even with missiles flying. Can't wait to get back. And of course, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, chimes in and says, no country is perfect, but Dubai and the UAE broadly are objectively safer and better run than many areas of Europe. And that's just true. That's why I'm here. Boom. The UAE just stopped the biggest modern aerial attack, over 708 different Iranian projectiles in 48 hours. Double hit us and 5 other Arab nations, plus Israel combined. Double is what we got. Zero major damage, elite level. And that's why everybody feels safe here. This is an influencer who was touring Dubai this week, and he posted a video of him walking down the street in Dubai downtown next to Burj Khalifa. You know, everybody's out having dinner at restaurants. I've been out to dinner under the sky every night for the last week because there's nothing to worry about. And he said, look, so a lot of people don't know this, but India's Bollywood stars all live in Dubai, as do Russia's UFC guys. Those are the ultimate fighters and their teams. European footballers live here. Tech CEOs, AI guys, crypto guys, bankers. The world's richest men and women live in this city. And they're not going anywhere. And if you look down there, he said, you wouldn't skip on air defenses to protect trillions of dollars in elite human capital. And that's exactly what the choice they've made here. I honestly never even knew they had these kind of systems. And now I like this place even more. Here's another tweet that came out. Tristan Tate, famous brother of Andrew, said, I asked Grok, the AI, how many people have been killed in Dubai from bombings in the last year? 0. How many knife attacks in my old hometown of London last year? 14,800. Here's a story I don't think I've ever told, Kate. In my old office about 4 years ago, we came down one time and there was blood all over the lobby. And I said to my doorman, I said, what's this? He said, some guy just came in, stabbed, and asked me if I had paper towels. I was like, are you joking? He's like, no, I'm serious. This is the London we live in. This is the Paris and Berlin that we live in. Let me just say that doesn't happen here in Dubai. And of course, Pavel chimed in and said, one has to admire the risk appetite of those vacationing in London. There was a funny tweet that came out today that I had to repeat today. And somebody said, British Airways landed their first flight from Dubai to Luton today. The passenger got out and said, wow, this is a scary place to be. So there you go, folks. So be careful what you hear of the narratives because the opposite is probably true. And of course, this is one of my favorites. This is an order that was given by the United Arab Emirates Department of Culture and Tourism that was sent out to the heads of all of the hotels. And it said this: in light of the current circumstances, given that some guests have reached their checkout date but are unable to travel, you are kindly requested to extend their stay until they're able to depart. The cost is covered by the city of Abu Dhabi. Send your invoices here. Kate, do you think your government would ever do that for you? Probably not, right? They didn't even tell the tourists that they had to get reimbursed later if they filled out 400 forms. It's covered. Enjoy your stay. And again, leadership. What you see in crisis is leadership, and I've seen it by the bushel over here. Now, this is new information. I've never shared this with anyone yet. I just got off the phone with two of the bigger brokers here because I'm trying to get a temperature check on the market. Within the past 48 hours, two luxury villas have closed. Okay, that means that they had all the time to digest the current action going on between the United States and Iran. They traded at the same price they negotiated 1 week ago. 91 million dirhams, about $25 million, and 75 million dirhams, about $20 million. So far, the smart money, the ultra luxury money is completing their deals because they want to live here. And folks, that's what I've seen for the past 5 years. We've seen over 500 properties now last year sell for over $10 million. This is now the capital of luxury. We saw one villa in the Palm Jumeirah, where our third deal is going to be, that was bought for $3 million and sold for $6.5 million in 13 months. That's 118% profit. When was the last time any of you made 118% profit? Maybe that one night in Vegas, Joel. Otherwise, it didn't happen. Trust me, I worked on Wall Street for 15 years. It never happened there either. 10x in 5 years is where ultra luxury property deals have surged here tenfold in the past 5 years. And of course, I now have toured most of the major locations. I'm currently making a reality show called Dubai Real inside the luxury property boom. And I'm really understanding more and more every single day about how to make money in this sector. Folks, before we get started, I just want to say this video is for information purposes only, not intended to be investment advice. If you're looking for that, please go find a professional. I also want to give you this free video, which is how to invest in luxury Dubai real estate in 3 easy steps. I'll give you a link to that in the end. You can click on that and you can learn a bunch. So who is Brian Rose? Good question. My mom used to ask me that when I was being bad. Who is Brian Rose? Right? 15 years on Wall Street. I started for a bank called Bankers Trust. I was a fixed income derivatives trader in 1993. And I worked for the next 15 years in Chicago, London, Tokyo, in the biggest banks and brokerage houses in the world. And I learned something about money. What I realized is that the real money is made not by the people with the fancy degrees, not by the people that have, 9-figure bank accounts. It's made by the people with access to deal flow. That's it. And I found sometimes some very wealthy people that actually had terrible deals, right? They were dealing with our bank and getting fleeced. And I found other people that just had great networks and were getting in on opportunities like I'm sharing with you today. And so that's what I'm offering you. Access to deals you would normally never see. And let's be honest, you wouldn't even know they were happening. And those are the kind of deals you want, because we want to keep this relatively quiet, right? I want to do this for the next 3 to 5 years and multiply your money and compound it for the next 5 years. That's how we can create generational wealth, and I'll explain that shortly. Of course, back in 2011, I decided to quit my job as a banker. I was having a bit of a midlife crisis. I was making a lot of money, and I was extremely unhappy. Funny that happens sometimes. And I started London Real. I spent the last 15 years interviewing over 1,000 of the greatest minds on the planet. Our content's been watched over 1 billion times. We got 5 million followers. And we also ended up creating London Real Ventures, where we invested $25 million of capital to some huge returns. So we've actually done this investing thing before, and I'll show you that shortly. I also spent the last 5 years studying Dubai up close because I was coming here to invest in blockchain companies. And I started to fall in love with it. I started to meet lots of wealthy people, go to the villas, and this idea was planted in my head. And now we're a broadcaster with 1 billion views, 5 million subscribers, and everybody wants to do business with us, which means I can show you deals you would never see. Folks, I've had some great mentors over the years. Does anybody know this guy here? Raise your hand. Grant Cardone. He's a famous real estate guy. Stephen knows who I'm talking about. When I met Grant, he had less than a billion under management. Now he's got 5 billion. And knowing Grant, it'll be 50 billion in the next 10 years. Grant's incredible. He taught me a lot about property. This is Robert Kiyosaki, wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Has anyone ever read that book? Joel knows, right? It's an amazing book. Robert's become a great friend. He's been coming on the show for the past 10 years. He texts me in the morning because he's in Arizona time. It's pretty trippy, actually. And Robert only invests in real assets, three things: real estate, Bitcoin, and gold. He doesn't trust anything fake. And he's the other guy that pushed me into property. This is Jim Rickards. He wrote a book called Currency Wars. He's an OG on Wall Street. And he actually conducts war games every single year with the CIA, but they're financial war games. He looks at how the USA can be attacked through money. And he's very, very smart. And of course, some of you might know this guy. Raise your hand. Dan Pena, the $1 trillion man. Yep, Stephen, looks like you've been watching too much London Real. Yeah, well, this is me at his castle in Scotland, accepting his award to be on his wall of fame. I'm now up there with all the other billionaires. And Dan taught me one thing. He said, Brian, you got to pull the trigger. Stop researching everything to death. He said, research is procrastination in disguise. Do you agree with that, Stephen? Anybody? Nick, you agree with that? Look, I'm all for due diligence, but most people sit on the fence too long. Yeah, but what if, but I don't know, let me check, and the deal's gone. Dan taught me another thing. He said, high performance people make decisions based on imperfect information. Does that make sense to everybody here, right? You have to make a decision. If you take the time to research every detail and call every reference, guess what? The deal's gone, right? Fortune favors the brave, and it always will. Folks, why Dubai? Why am I here? Well, it's the number one destination for global wealth migration, and it continues to be. I'll show you a slide next. There's a severe shortage of turnkey luxury supply. What does that mean? Well, Nick, it's what you think it means. You take out your key, you turn open the door, and you walk into your brand new mega villa. And guess what? Your toothbrush is in the bathroom. The sheets are on the bed. The cutlery's in the kitchen. The concierge is already working on the visas for your gardener and your driver. Isn't that good, Nick? Send me their names if you need me to. I can work on that before. We got your kids in the right school and you're plugged in. People pay a premium for this, and that premium goes into our pockets. That's how we're making these huge returns, right? This market is built for high performance returns. Why? Zero personal tax, zero capital gains tax. Does anybody pay zero personal tax, zero capital gains tax? If you do, there's a IRS 1-800 number you can call. But look, it's none of my business what you do with your money, but very few people can offer that or can brag about that. This is a special place. There's rapid economic growth, and it's full of cash-rich international buyers. Take a look at this diagram on the right. Last year, in 2025, 142,000 millionaires changed the country they lived in for a variety of reasons. Where did most of them go? Look at the top. United Arab Emirates, right? 9,800 millionaires. How many billionaires? How many $1 trillion of net assets from all their companies moved here? Now go all the way to the bottom. What do you see at the bottom there, Kate? The United Kingdom. My former home, 16,500 millionaires. How many billionaires, Stephen? How many $1 trillion of capital? And guess what? They're just getting started. There's going to be more next year, the more next year. Now, I'm not going to start ranting on about the UK government, but let's be honest. The current government raised taxes, right? Their health system's failing. You're more likely to get stabbed on the street than you are to be greeted hello. It's broken. And I believe all of Western Europe is broken and people are coming here. So what's a luxury transformation? Great question. It's a targeted upgrade of a premium property. And Joel, I'm going to show you a case study shortly. We basically take an old villa that's 15 years old and we spruce it up. That's what we do. It's simple, but it's not easy, but that's what we do. The final product has everything perfect. I'm talking ultra luxury high spec, and it's designed to match exactly what the buyers want. This strategy unlocks significant value fast. Why? Because we do these quickly. I can get a project turned around in 14 months. That's pretty good, Nick, right? You don't have to bet on what the price of real estate is going to be in 3 or 4 years. I'm out in 14 months, sometimes even sooner. And so you really aren't taking a lot of market risk. So quick turnaround times, and we're getting high performance returns on the back of it, 40 to 90%, which is something you can't even find on Wall Street. Folks, I want to show you the intro to a brand new reality show called Dubai Real, all right? I don't think anyone's seen this yet, so, don't share it, right? Don't get me in trouble. This is something I'm really excited about. And it's going to show my journey of coming to Dubai and looking for the right investments for members of my property circle. And that's what I want to show you right now. Let me show you this.
History is written by movement. Right now, the largest migration of wealth in modern times is underway, and Dubai is at the center of it. Not by accident, by design. Tax freedom, security, world-class infrastructure. The city isn't just growing, it's accelerating. You can feel it, the momentum, the ambition, the speed. While the West feels stuck in managed decline, Dubai is busy building the future. This city has positioned itself as one of the most dynamic property markets in the world. Built on infrastructure, leadership, and a long-term vision that's actually being executed. If you want exposure to this promising future, real estate is the clearest, most liquid way to express that conviction. And when markets move, luxury real estate moves first. But this is where things get complicated. Because this is a fast market, and not everything that glitters is gold. For every genuine opportunity, there's a shortcut. For every fortune, there's a fugazi. That's why I'm here, on the ground, asking the hard questions, looking for asymmetric returns, doing the work most people never see. My job is simple: to multiply our money, protect our investors, and only position our capital where the upside is real. Because one thing is certain, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And if we manage our risk intelligently, there is a lot of money to be made. This is Dubai Real.
Come on. How cool does that look? Come on, Joel, right? Steven, you feeling me? Even Nick, poker face over there. Come on. Give me some love, guys. Yeah, and I'm not even playing you the full episode, all right? There's another, whole episode when I'm coming to town. Anyways, over the 4 episodes, you're going to see me go look at properties, go through the due diligence process, and do everything until we close the deal, which is the first deal or the second deal we've actually done inside the property circle. So it's pretty cool. I can't help myself. What can I say? We're a media company. So when I see something, I'm like, let's make a piece of media. But I think it'll be a really good tool for you to understand what we're doing here. Folks, here's that case study I talked about. And we did this in a villa on the Palm. It was an ultra luxury villa redevelopment. And a lot of you know, do you all know the Palm here in Dubai? Just raise your hand. It's those artificial islands that were made about 20 years ago with the sand. It's pretty impressive how they did it, actually. There's actually no concrete in the structure. It's just rock and sand. Isn't that cool? And but these were built 15, 20 years ago. And while most of us could probably, sleep on the floor in one of these and not notice, if you're a billionaire, you need something better. So this is what we did. We acquired the property for $7.1 million. Through renovation and permits, we spent an extra $6.3 million. Total investment cost was 13.4. We sold it 12 months later for 25.9 and made a 93.8% return. It's that simple. It really is simple. Now, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. There's a lot of pieces in here you have to get right, but the returns are there. Folks, there's just news headline after news headline after news headline. 1.1 trillion is being invested in this region now, in this brand new ultra luxury wellness space. So it's not just luxury, it's not just ultra luxury, but it also has a wellness component to this real estate investment. Also, we saw that the ultra luxury resale market, what we're talking about, hit $3.15 billion last year, with cash buyers dominated completing homes. What does that mean? People aren't buying these as investment vehicles. They're moving their families here to live. Of course, this brand new palm called Jebel Ali, which is right down the road, which is twice the size, has started selling homes for 5 million a pop. And it's not even ready yet. Won't be ready for a few more years. So you can see the potential here. And of course, now most people agree that Dubai outshines London, Miami, and Phuket now as far as luxury. Here's another interesting article. It says in addition to the 500 sales of homes at 10 million a pop, you had an additional 70 properties selling for over or at least $25 million, right? $9 billion of prime sales last year. This is where people are moving. And of course, these brands like Bugatti, Mercedes-Benz, and Lamborghini are now branding their entire buildings and selling those. And the penthouse just went for $150 million, the largest sale in the Middle East. And of course, we know that luxury property is set for a sustained boom here, and that's what I'm experiencing. Folks, our latest deal, we're closing as we speak, is inland. It's in a beautiful community called Al Barari, which is like an oasis. When you're there, you can't even believe you're in a desert because you're not. It's got greenery that's been around for 20, 30 years. It's got a lake. It's got rivers. It reminds me of Colorado, right, where my grandma used to live. It's kind of crazy, and it's gorgeous. There's only 170 villas. It's very exclusive, and the homes are off the chart. One of my pictures above, one you see me outside, that's one of those villas. They're really nice. It's a premium transformation project. The high demand location is filling quickly, and we have the perfect timing to get in. I had a member joining me yesterday, and he's getting in on this deal. So we're basically almost closed, very, very close. Folks, I want to talk about compounding because this is what I see in your future or to anybody who joins us. Because let's be honest, who wants to do one deal, right? You come in, you put 100 grand down, you make 50 grand, and you leave. That sounds boring to me. Joel, what if I could take that 100 grand and make you a 50% return for 5 years? Now let's do the math here because compounding really gets interesting at these levels, right? The first year you make 50 grand. The next year, you don't make 50 grand. You make 50 grand and 25 grand. You make 75 grand. By the time you get to year 5, you will have made $759,000 total, Joel, out of that initial 100K investment. 7.5x your money. That's what compounding is. So I'm not here for one deal. That's boring to me. I'm here to create generational wealth for my members, and we're going to do it exactly like this. And since we can get in and out in a year, this is perfect for it. Folks, I've never seen returns like this. Spent 15 years. I traded equities, I traded bonds, I traded commodities on all the biggest desks. Never saw anything like it. And it really blew my mind. And that's really why I'm here. I want to play for you a quick video that maybe gives you a little bit more of an idea of what we're doing. Sometimes I kind of assume that everybody can kind of understand what I'm doing. But sometimes, the charts and diagrams don't do it as well as some of the videos do. So let me play for you something that I created here. Let me just see here. It is, this one. And this is just going to show you a little bit what we're doing behind the scenes. Let me just make sure I have the right one here. Stay with me. Yeah, okay. Masterclass. There we go. Boom. This is what we're up to.
Dubai real estate is exploding, and the biggest money is being made where almost nobody is looking, in premium luxury transformation projects that have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. For years, these opportunities were locked inside private networks. You never saw them. You never had access until now. I've spent 15 years on Wall Street and 5 years studying Dubai up close. And today, for the first time ever, you can invest directly alongside my team. We have just received a brand new project with real potential for outsized returns. And early allocations always fill fast. Click the link and apply now. Your opportunity starts today.
Boom. So that's just a little bit of what we're doing. The returns are looking incredible. And what I'm doing here is I'm on the ground because there was no way I was going to do this unless I was here looking after our investments. And that's what I plan on doing for quite a little bit of while here. So let me just get back to my presentation. Just want to make sure you guys are understanding like all of the details because they're important. You know, a lot of people ask me, Brian, how come London Real gets access to these deals? And it's a great question because I'll tell you something a lot of people don't know, Stephen, is that money doesn't get you in these deals. Let me tell you something about Dubai. Everybody has cash and they have more cash than you. All right, trust me. I got a buddy, a crypto bro. He's a billionaire. He's got a Bugatti. And he took a picture of his Bugatti the other day in a garage. And next to him, there were five Bugattis, all of, I think, the same color. And he said, in Dubai, there's always somebody with a bigger one. That's what he said. And so cash doesn't get us in this deals. What does is our media platform, right? That's what does it. They want eyeballs on the deals. They want us to show off what they're doing. And that's how I can get you access to deals that you would normally never hear of. So I always say success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We've really been preparing for this moment for the last 15 years. Everything media to even London Real Ventures, which I'll share soon, all is preparing me to get you into these property deals and to make us a large amount of money over the next 10 years. Folks, a lot of you probably felt like Drake on top here in the past. You've tried to invest in property on your own. Maybe you bought a rental property or two, Nick, and you find yourself on a Sunday fixing people's toilets, right? Or dealing with crazy tenants, right? I know people like that. And I never had any interest in that, quite frankly. And neither should you. Because when you do it with me, you do it through a transparent SPV vehicle, which I'll explain shortly. You don't even have to come here, but you can because we're having an investor day on April 27th. So everybody's welcome to come here and we're going to tour our properties and just have a great time. Folks, I created the luxury property investment circle. So family members, I call you my London Real family, can come together and we can create generational wealth over the next 5 to 10 years. All right. The only reason you were sent an invite is because you've been watching our content for the past 5 to 7 years. You've been to my website. I have your email address. Some of you have taken my courses. Some of you have come to my movie premieres in London. A lot of you have probably watched tens or hundreds of hours of my content, and we appreciate it. I want you as a member. I don't want some goofball off the street I never met. I'm too old to deal with nonsense, right, Kate? Right? I don't need it. I only want to deal with people that I know are on the same page as me. And so I invite you, if you're one of those people, to go to londonreal.tv/Dubai and book a strategy call with one of my team. Zach is really, really intelligent. He's already spoken to hundreds and hundreds of people, and he'll tell you right up front. He'll be like, look, I don't think this is going to work for you, or maybe this could work for you. He'll tell you right away. But it's a free call. We can assess where you're at, where your portfolio is, where your risk exposure is, and see if this makes sense. If it doesn't, honestly, we should just go our separate ways. But this could be something special for you. The best way to do that is to fill out this application here. You click the button, you'll book a call with Zach or myself, and then boom, you get on the phone with us and we'll figure out if this is a good fit. If it is, you're at the perfect time in history. And if not, like I said, you can go do your thing. Maybe come look us up in another 5 years. Folks, a lot of you know I ran to be mayor of London. Did anybody watch my run to be mayor of London? Twice I ran, Nick, 21 and 24. I was on a pro freedom of speech, pro crypto platform because these are things I believe in. And the truth is that I tried. I tried to fix London, Kate. I really did, right? I spent so much effort and so much money because I really wanted to change the city that I love. I love the city. My children were born there. I named my show after London, for gosh sake, right? But it's not changing. And so what I'm doing is I'm voting with my feet. I've moved my studio to Dubai, right? And I've started to book in the highest and best guests in the world. This is Carl Moon, famous crypto billionaire, another billionaire, Chris Crypto. And right now we're investing over $3 million into 6 different luxury refurbishment deals this quarter. We're doing this, folks. I'm all in on this. And if you want to come along for this ride, it's going to be an amazing one. And it's all because of this, London Real Ventures. This is the world's first media-powered investment firm. No one has ever done this before. Because no one's ever taken a media company like London Real with 15 years of history, with 1 billion views, 5 million subscribers, and combined it with a venture capital company with 25, 50, $100 million in capital. When you do that, these very unique synergies come up and opportunities are everywhere. And beautiful things happen, like our portfolio. We have this is over 100 different of the top AI and blockchain companies. Many of those have become multi-billion-dollar companies after we've invested. This is one of them, Story Protocol. This thing was up 20x in launch and made my group a $4 million profit. This is a company called Shrapnel, did a 20x in 20 days, made my group a $5 million profit. This is a company called Mochaverse. It's actually a digital ID system for a $7 billion conglomerate called Animoca Brands. And this thing was up 20x and it's going even higher. Here I am with Yatsu, their chairman. This is our big win, Story Protocol, made $21 million for my group. One of my members, Jose, who's also a member of the Property Circle, he put in 50 grand on this deal and it's now worth a cool $2 million. One deal, $2 million. About 3 people put in 50K on that. And of course, our $1 billion fund is from this guy named Dan Tapiero, considered one of the greatest traders on the street. He has the single very best fund performance in the world yet last year. And we put $1 million in this fund in 22. He's going to return to us probably $7 or $8 million. We're putting another $1 million into his latest fund in the next month or two. And it just shows you the kind of success we can have with a media platform. Folks, we've now invested over $25 million via London Real Ventures. And this year we're going to do another 25, going up to 100. And maybe I'm going to start knocking on Grant's door with $1 billion under asset management. Folks, I was recently voted the best venture capitalist of the year. I accepted this award. And yes, Nick, I have a pink suit. If you got a problem with it, you have to come see me in Dubai. But I find the louder the suits are, the better deal flow we get. This is good, right, Stephen? And so, look, we're in an attention economy. And I don't mind if I have to get the attention in order to make an amazing deal for you. I also was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Global Family Office Investment Summit. This is for the incredible returns that we've received and for the incredible media we've posted. But if you walk around Dubai these days, most of the young kids know me as the old guy that jumps in the boxing ring, right? They usually cross the road and go to the other side of the sidewalk when they see me commentate because they know that it's time for me to teach them some manners. So I don't mind lacing up the gloves. Had a couple of fights. They keep bringing them younger and younger, Stephen. The first kid was 27. The last kid was 19. I was like, what's coming next? But the plan is to fight again in May. Folks, how can we maximize our investment returns? It's simple. It's called diversification. And a guy named Ray Dalio, who's considered a legend on Wall Street, he said it's the holy grail of investing, and he's right. This is what a portfolio looks like from the typical one of our members. And this is something I want to emphasize. No matter how good these returns are, and they're amazing, I would never, ever suggest you put 100% of your money into any asset class. It's a recipe for disaster, right? I love crypto. I love Dubai transformations, right? I love cash. Who doesn't? But I would never put everything in there. And so if you look at one of my investors, they typically have about 20% of their money in crypto, some less, 30% of their money in real estate, 15% in cash, 15% in stocks, et cetera. And I advise you, or I don't advise you, but I would say if you want diversification, you really want to spread this out over many asset classes. It's mathematically proven to give you the best returns. Folks, I think the greatest way to predict the future is just to go out there and create it. How many people like to live their life that way? Nick, anybody? Joel, Stephen, you're with me. You know what? Stephen, right now, I could be in London where it's raining, right? I could be complaining about the Labour government as they raise our taxes. I could be complaining that I got to wait 18 months to get an operation at the NHS. I could be complaining that some kid just, took my iPhone when I was talking to it on the streets, right? But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to move my feet to where I need to be, and I'm going to create wealth for myself and everybody around me. And that's what I'm doing here in Dubai. I am empowering myself. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm not going to be whining and complaining on X about where I live. I'm going to be celebrating on X where I live. And I've been dropping videos every day for the past 4 years. I've started 4 days. I've had like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views because I'm getting reposted and retweeted by everybody because they understand I have the vision for this place. Folks, this is Ben Bhandari. He's the top real estate broker in Dubai, which is a city full of, I think, 90,000 brokers, and he's number one, all right? He's also the star of a program called $1 Million Listing, which is one of these reality shows for real estate. Yeah, they exist. He is a legend, and I got to sit down with him on London Real. And I asked Ben, I said, Ben, why? Like, why Dubai? Now, the thing about Ben, which is interesting, is he's not from here. He's from Toronto. And he was here in 2002 originally, and he went and saw the financial crisis of '08. And if you thought it was bad in the US, it was really bad here. And this is what Ben told me about Dubai.
How did Dubai become one of the top 5 real estate markets in the world?
There's many factors. The safety and the security is next level. You won't find it anywhere in the world. The leadership had a vision to basically attract foreign investment, to bring basically expats here, and to basically expand the culture, the tourism, and the city itself. His Highness, he's just created a marketing machine. and they've done a great job. I mean, I've seen it all right from the beginning, from 2002 up until today. You have to come here, you have to see it, you have to experience it to believe it.
And we're seeing a lot of billionaires and a lot of other high net worth people bring their families here, invest in properties.
There's really no comparison. You have 1,000 families moving to Dubai weekly. Everybody's looking to come here. Everyone's looking to move here because of tax reasons, because of safety, because of security, because they want to park their money somewhere safe as well. There's so many factors. I mean, the list goes on. We can just sit here till tomorrow morning. Everyone moves to Dubai. The money pours in because of the safety, because of the security, because of the stability.
1,000 families a week. Put your head around that, right? Guess what? They all need a place to live, right, Joel? And then we're going to provide those places for the high ultra luxury ones. 1,000 families a week. It always blows me away when I really think about that stat. Takeaways from Ben is this: Dubai has safety and security, more so than ever. I mean, this has been an extremely safe place to be the last 4 or 5 days. I mean, incredible. The leadership attracts investments, and their leadership just went from an 8 out of 10 to an 11 out of 10 this week. 0 personal taxes, 0 capital gains, tiny corporate tax, 9%. And it's a new playground for the wealthy, and that's who we're catering to. Folks, how do we create outsized returns in real estate? It's simple, just like you do in any other category in real estate. It's all about deal flow. Now, let me tell you something honest. If you want to invest in money here, if you want to invest in real estate here, you can lose money if you want. That's for sure. You can easily lose money in this space, right? And so you really have to go to where the deals are if you want to make that money. Folks, this is what I've been doing for the last 3 or 5 years, right? I have actually been here building relationships, hanging out with the crypto bros, hanging out with the members of government, hanging out with the influencers and the VCs. I've been on stage interviewing the biggest names. I've been premiering our own films here, and I've hung out with people like CZ in front of me worth a couple $100 billion. I understand how the ultra wealthy think. Folks, if you want to win in this space, you have to invest with the best. You have to be around people with me that can get you deals that get these kinds of returns. All right. This is not something you see every day. We know that. If you don't know that, keep it moving, do something else. But if you realize how special this is, you definitely want to get on board. Again, folks, even if I can get you less than our current deal of 60%, call it 50%. Compounded for 5 years, that's 7.5 times your money. There isn't a single asset class in the world, let alone one that's guaranteed by an underlying piece of real estate that's going to get you anything near that. Folks, this is our investor portal. So if you get accepted and we choose to bring you in, you'll see the deals. You'll be able to see what's coming soon. You'll be able to put your allocations of how much you want. But you've got to also understand the financial tools. We use something called an SPV. Does anybody here know what an SPV is? It stands for Special Purpose Vehicle. It's basically a little mini corporation that's set up just for the purpose of that deal. It's a standalone legal entity, so the owners directly own the asset, while it also isolates all the other risks from your personal wealth. It's a ring-fence structure, provides stronger legal protection, cleaner tax treatment, and also you can get financing and leverage on the back of it, which we like. Folks, this is our platform we use for our SPVs. We'll also do your KYC, know your customer. You got to put in some ID and a utility bill, and you should be ready to go. Folks, how do you create generational wealth? You have to pull the trigger. You have to stop watching videos about this. You have to stop attending seminars about this. You have to stop reading books about this. Okay, I used to be that guy until I met some of my mentors, and they said, Brian, would you get off the damn fence and pull your finger out and do a transaction? Start small. Put in 10K. Watch us. Say, Brian, you got 10K for a year. If you come back with 15 grand, I'm in. Great, let's do it. Or some of the wealthier people, Brian, I'll give you 100K. Come back in a year with 150, I'm in. Great, but do something, because watching and waiting is a great way to ruin your life and get 0% returns. Folks, timing matters. It just does, right? Why? Well, if you wait, you're going to miss it. Our SPVs cannot expand once they're filled. Our early investors get priority. Our deals close very, very fast. And once allocations are gone, they're gone. You're going to miss this. This opportunity won't be around forever, but it's going to be around long enough for us to milk it. Again, this is for serious investors only who want access, right? Not theory. I'm not here to give you an education. I'm here to give you incredible returns that are going to blow your mind. And I want serious people. You know, if you join my program, you're a person that wants real assets, not speculation. You want transparency, you want an SPV to ring fence structure, and you want access to real opportunities. That's what we do. If you want something else, go somewhere else. But if you want this, nobody else is offering what we're offering here. Folks, the only way to do is to apply now or book that call with Zach. I know 2 of you just messaged me and said you've already got a call booked with him today. That's smart because these are going very fast. We're very busy right now. At some point when we have enough members, we're just probably going to multiply our own capital over the next few years because I think we're going to be so big that honestly, just trying to invest our own capital is going to be enough to keep me busy. But until then, we're open. But it's only for people that are ready to seize the day. It's a private membership. It's a lifetime of premium opportunities. It's a real chance. And there are very few chances out there to build generational wealth. And you can start with as little as $10,000 to invest. That's unheard of. But I can do that because of my SPV structure. And I've been using SPVs for the past 5 years. Quite good at this now. So I know how it works. I know how to structure them. And it's a really an incredible piece of technology. Folks, the best thing to do is apply now or click the link to the right and book that call with Zach. Or go to LearnReal.tv/Dubai. You can apply and then book the call right after that. And to be honest, this is the most powerful money-making opportunity I've ever seen. Not only that, the risk to reward is incredible because the risk is much lower here. You're not investing in a company or a technology platform. Anything can happen there. You're investing in a physical piece of land and a home in a market where people are flocking to. And that's how we're locking in these returns. Folks, here's that video I promised you. Go to LearnReal.tv/replay and you'll learn how to invest in luxury Dubai real estate in 3 easy steps. And I'd love to answer any questions. Was that helpful, Nick? Was that helpful for you? Joel, good, thank you. Kate, I hope that was. Michelle and Paul and Nicolaj. Nicolaj has been here before. I just put the link for Zach in the main call. It's his Calendly thing. I think also you can go to just LondonReal.tv/book as well, I think also works. Book a call with him. There's his email there if you want to reach out, or you can go to LondonReal.tv/Dubai. I think I answered all the questions, but I DM'd a bunch of people here. If you got something, send me a DM back. This is such an exciting time, and I'm having the time of my life. I won't lie. I love this opportunity. I'm a huge fan of Dubai. I truly believe in its future, and I think the one way to monetize that belief is through the real estate. But it's not only through luxury real estate, it's through the transformation deals. We can get your money in and out in 14 months. We can compound it over 3, 4, 5 years and really create something to where you'll never have to worry about money again. And I'll just tell you a quick story. Up until I was 30 years old, I was broke as a joke, all right? This is a true joke. I mean, American Express had a hitman looking for me. It was that bad, right? They used to call my dad at night. It was terrible. And even though I was making really good money, I always spent more than I made. And I was in a constant state of stress, You know when the doorbell rings and you think it's a creditor? Nick, you ever have one of those? Oh my gosh, right? And I've been there before. And it's a stressful way to live your life. And I believe we're all put on this planet for a reason. I also don't believe that money is the answer to your problems. What I think money gives you is the choice to choose what you want to do with your life. And in my opinion, what are you going to do to give back to the world? What were you put on this planet to do? I think I was put on this planet to broadcast and inspire and also create wealth for people. That's what I'm here for. And I love it when I'm doing it. When I was the most miserable, Nick? When I was making money for me. When I'm in selfish pursuits, something inside of me knows there's something wrong with it. But when I make money for other people, now that is a rush. I really love that. And so I want you to find out what you're here for. But you can't do it when you're working paycheck to paycheck every week, stressed about money all the time. Let's just remove that stress. Put $10, $20 million in your bank account and live a completely different life. That is my goal for everybody here. Folks, I hope this was helpful, right? I really hope that we can see you on the inside. Please book that call with Zach. He'll really talk to you honestly about your capital and your plans. And I think it'll work out really well. And until then, I hope we can see you on the inside. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate you. All right. Bye.